Amanda, and today is the day of the most anticipated video of my channel. Okay, maybe not, but also kind of yes. So a while ago when Ms. Turtle was doing lives, it sounds like she's been busy and not able to do them lately, but she started kind of egging me on about doing a pen collection video. Now, I've always kind of wanted to do a pen collection video and just never got around to it, blah, blah, blah. And she wanted me to do a live, and I'm not really comfortable doing a live at this point. I'm not always home alone. It's not really convenient. Like, I could probably do it now, but I'm recording a video instead. So today is the day I promised by my birthday, which is today, October 28th, that I would have a pen collection video. If I were smart, I would have recorded this early, but I needed to gather some things. I had them all gathered, and then I did a currently inked video, and then they ended up all over the place. I'm missing 4 pens that I am aware of, so this is the whole collection minus 4 pens, and if I ever find those 4 pens, I will do an addendum. Yeah, so I figured I'd start off with some small things that are easy to show off. This is not a pen, but this is a Chic Sparrow. This is the Tea House Leather in Earl Grey. This is the passport size. I keep this in my purse and I use it for grocery lists. I could put the grocery list in my phone, but I like being able to like cross it off, so I needed a pen for that. Ignore this. Yeah, that will make sense later. I'll show it in a second. But this is a Traveler's Company fountain pen. It's the brass fountain pen. I don't typically like brass fountain pens because they make my hands smell. I don't like the smell of the brass, but I can't remember. I want to say it was maybe a Goulet video. They were talking about it all the time, and then I kept seeing it, and then I was like, you know what? Like, I could just use a little pocket pen to like always have in my purse with me. It only takes cartridges that I'm aware of. I don't know that there's a converter that fits in here. Maybe the Kaweco converter if you want to try it out. I'm not saying do that. But I don't like, that's usually pretty small. I just don't know if it's small enough for this. So, yeah, because the cartridge is like that. But anyway, yeah, so this is the brass pen. It posts and makes a decent sized pen. It's actually pretty heavy. Probably not as heavy as what I imagine the Kaweco version is, but it's real skinny. And I just use it, like I said, for crossing off grocery lists and stuff like that. And then these notebooks are from Gallon Leather. And like I said, this is the passport size. I keep 2 in here because 1 just seemed like it was too thin, and so 2 just gives it a little bit of bulk. And yeah. So that's that. And yeah, so I just keep that in my purse. That doesn't leave, that doesn't go anywhere. If I find the cartridge needs to be filled, then I just put a new one in. And then these you've seen before. These are this is another Gallon Leather, well, not another, this is a Gallon Leather 5 pen case. And I just keep my purple Twsbis in this because it's purple and they're purple, and I have 5 and 5 pens fit in here. You can fit a notebook in here. I actually have a notebook to stick in here. I just never ended up putting it in here. So I have the extra fine, medium, broad, and 1.1 stub. 2 of these I bought myself when the purple released, and 3 of them were gifts. The extra fine was from my friend Ms. Turtle. The fine was from my friend Casey. The medium and the broad are the 2 that I bought myself, and then the 1.1 stub is a gift from Creepy Nibs. So yeah, so these are very special to me, and this is my perfect, like, this is the best shade of purple ever, like, basically, as far as a pen is concerned. If all purple pens looked like this, I'd be so happy. So yeah, so I am really pleased to have a set. Yeah, my friends ended up completing my set after I, like, said many occasions, not hinting at anything, but said on many occasions that I would like to own a set of these, and yeah, they made that happen. So thank you to my friends and to me, because I bought 2 of them and they bought the other 3. So thank you to everybody involved. Okay, next up I have my glass tip pens. You'll know these from all of our swatchy videos. This is the one that is currently in service. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one that's currently in service. This is the one I replaced the nib on, but I hate the way it writes. The nibs aren't interchangeable on these ones for some reason. Like, I don't know if this is too thin. I don't know. It won't fit. But anyway, so I have two of the same ones. I like the color scheme. I actually like the red in this one a lot better. And then I have the pink one, which currently doesn't have anything in it because the other replacement nibs that I have don't fit in here. So I do have it's a fine nib and a converter, and I think I might just turn this into a regular pen because it's too pretty to just sit in the drawer. So I haven't done that yet, but that is a thing that I plan to do. Also, before I continue on, I have to show you. Actually, no, that's related to a different video, so I'll do that in a different video. Okay, so we're going to go on to pen case number 1. I have, just taking you off for a ride. I have 3 of these pen cases, and I'm actually going to take the phone off of the thing for a second so you can see. This is the Kaweco 40 pen case, and my cat will just sit in it when it's open. But it holds 40 pens. So here's one side. This one isn't full. I have room for 2 more pens. Actually 4 more pens. This one houses some of my fancier pens, some of my like small maker pens, my collection of vintage pens. These are 2 gift pens that I just received. Well, 3 gift pens, but these 2 I just received. You haven't seen yet. My Lamy Safari and All Stars. I have a neon coral Lamy Safari, and I cannot find that anywhere, so I know that it's there. This is a pen that probably nobody knows that I have. I snuck that one in there. Yeah, so there's all my stuff. So that's that one, and we can go through each individually. I don't know if that's kind of what everybody wants, but that's kind of what I'm going to do. So that's the overview of case number 1. And then I'll do an overview. I'm going to put this back. I'll do an overview of the other. I have 3 of these cases. Sorry, I'm probably like too far from the microphone. It probably sounds weird. But this is my all my Pelicans. My Franklin-Christoph. I have one Franklin-Christoph that's in the other one because after I put these all in, it didn't fit anymore. I have my collection of sailors, my Pilot Custom 74, the Pilot Kakuno that I recently purchased and didn't tell anybody about, and then my Pilot Prera, my collection of Vanishing Points, my Pilot E95S's, my Custom 823s, my Falcon, my Pilot Metropolitan that I never ever use, and then a collection of Kawecos. I'm missing 2 Kawecos. I recently ordered a gray one and a chocolate brown one from Amazon. I have them. I unboxed them. I showed them to some friends, and then they disappeared. So those are 2 of the 4 pens that are missing. So that one, and then my Lamy Safari Neon Coral is missing. And I can't remember what the 4th one was, so I'm sure that I'll come upon it when I get there. Oh, I know, it's a Twsbi. So anyway, so that's these. And then the last big case I have, I'm actually going to have to get another one of these cases. These, I got them on Amazon. They're like $40. I've seen them for $40 and I've seen them for $45. So shop Amazon before you like spend the money. Just make sure you're getting the best price. They also have a 20 pen case, which is like half of this. I thought that'd be like, that's a great, I actually prefer that size, but then I'd have to have like 20 or like 10 cases. So I just figured this would be easier. I have a shelf in my room that I can keep them on. And yeah. So I have all my Twsbi 580s, my Twsbi Go, my Twsbi Minis, my PenBBS pens, a couple of Edison Nouveaux, my Conklin Duragraph / Flex, and then the rest of my Twsbis. and except for this one that's missing, this is my pastel blue. This one you remember from the April 30th 30 days video that I had burned orange in, Robert Oster burned orange that I spilled everywhere. That ink has been in that pen. I recently like did a coloring page in it, intending to like clean it out, and I don't know where it is. I can't find it. It's not in my nightstand drawer. It's not in my cubbies. It's somewhere in my room, but I have to clean that, and I would rather film this video than clean to find it. So I have my Platinum 3776s. This is a Namasu pen that I got it from a Kickstarter, a Lavender True Writer, and a Monteverde Mountains of the World. So yeah, so I'm going to put my camera back on. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come through and we'll go through each case. Okay, I'm back. So I still have the Twsbi thing out here. So I guess that's what I will go with. I'll start with that one. Yeah, I don't really know, like, I don't know, do you want me to pull them all out? Like, I don't know if you want me to do that, because Twsbis are just Twsbis. I guess they're different colors. So I have the Twsbi Pink in extra fine. No, it's not extra fine, it's a fine nib. And that is a pretty pen. I actually have to like take this apart and clean it out because the last ink I had in it was Vintitala, and that shimmer just like sticks around. And then this is the 580 turquoise. I can't remember if the pink or the turquoise is the first one that I got in the 580 size, but it's really pretty. Then we have the 580 emerald green. I have a broad nib on this one. Yeah, I ordered a sample of a 3 Oysters Marine Green to go with it, and I didn't realize it was like a special edition, I don't think, or maybe I was just trying it and was like, oh, I'll totally get a bottle of it, and now you like can't find bottles of it anymore, but it was like the perfect match for this pen. So I think I have a sample. I managed to get a sample from, I can't remember if it was Vanessa or Goulet, but I managed to get a sample of it, so I might put that back in this pen. But I've had all kinds of green inks in here. It doesn't have to be a green ink to put in here. I've had blue inks in here. But yeah, but I love the broad nib on this. It's really wet and juicy, and yeah, it's great. This is my first Twsbi 580 stub. This is the rose red. I actually need to clean this pen. I had Azure Kingfisher in the pen from 30 days, and I like emptied it in a, like when I'm ready to be done with an ink, I don't want to just like dump it down the drain, so I have some notebooks that I just like empty the ink and then like spread it all around, and just it looks pretty. So I actually need to clean that, but yeah, this is my Diamond 580 purple. This is long discontinued before long sold out and discontinued before I ever got into fountain pens. Once I found out it was a thing, I think I found out about it on like a Goulet video, like a right now they were going through like Rachel's pen collection or something like that. Maybe it was before then. I don't really remember actually now that I'm thinking about it, but I found out there was a purple one and I was like, oh crap, I want a purple one. And you couldn't find them anymore, and I happened to find one on eBay when I had a lot of extra money at my disposal, and I said fuck it and bought it and spent way too much money on a Twsbi, and I'm not going to tell you how much it is because it's embarrassing, but it was a lot of money. Then my Twsbi Smoke Rose Gold. I love this pen. I have a broad nib. I have been briefly toying with the idea of getting another one, either in a medium or a fine or an extra fine. I kind of want a whole set of these, like I have the purple ones, but these are a little more spendy, and I like really have to justify that to myself, and I haven't been able to do it yet. I thought about getting an architect grind on one of these, if I liked this one, which I do like this one, but also I just love how smooth and beautiful and brilliant these rose gold nibs are, so I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. Yeah, but I love this pen, like so much. Then we move on to the ALR versions. I have the nickel gray, which is just the basic gray, and I don't have all the colors. I don't care about the orange one, and I never got a regular one because I just started collecting the colors. But yeah, I can't remember which one of these was my first 580, but it's one of these. And then I have the purple, which I need to clean out. Obviously I got it because it's purple and a Twsbi. Then I have Prussian blue. with an extra fine. This has a medium, this has a broad, and then this is an extra fine. And this is the Twsbi 580 ALR Punch Pink, which is the most recent 580 ALR, and I have a medium architect grind on that. And I hope that these pens have even been anywhere near in frame, because my camera's a little high and I can't see it from my vantage point. So anyway, so yeah, this is the Punch Pink. I have a medium, is it medium? Yeah, a medium nib that I had ground to an architect grind from the Nibsmith, and currently it's inked with Twsbi Black. So that's that, and then we move on to the to some lower ones. We have a Twsbi Go that I need to clean out. I have the sapphire blue. I had toyed with the idea of getting the gray one. I think it's called Smoke, and also the clear one, but I don't actually like this pen enough to want more of them. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with the pen. My favorite part of the pen is the spring, the fill mechanism. I love, in fact, I need to clean this out. I just love going boingy, 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 boingy. It's like my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing about this pen. The pen itself feels like a big Crayola marker that like little kids write with. The section doesn't feel that way, but just like in my hand, that's what it feels like to me. But it's a great pen. I think if you want a pen that's like really easy to clean out, I know Ms. Turtle likes to use it for doing her samples, because it's easy to fill and it's easy to clean. That's a great way to use it. Also, if you want a pen to like dedicate to shimmer inks, because it's easy to fill and easy to clean, like it's, you know, yeah, I mean, you can't take it apart as easy as you can like a regular Twsbi. I mean, I guess you can, but I know that these seem to be easier to pull apart. But yeah, it's just it's a nice like knock around pen, I guess. It's not my favorite Twsbi, but I'm glad that I at least have one in the collection. This is the Twsbi Mini, and I'm scared to pull it out because these elastics tend to like remove the O-ring. Yeah, and it did right here, so now I have to fish it out. That's the only thing I don't like about this case, is these elastics are so tight that it I'm scared that I'm gonna lose the O-ring. So anyway, so this is the Twsbi Mini that I actually need to clean out. This is my first fountain pen. I got this pen because some planner girls had gotten into fountain pens, and it's so cute. Look how cute it is. And they were using it, and I was like, I haven't used a fountain pen in forever. It was, you know, a little spendy, but I was spending tons of money on planner stickers, so I was like, okay, I just won't get stickers this week. I'll buy a pen instead. And I got that from Amazon, and yeah. And so now I have to put this O-ring back on because I don't want to lose it. And it doesn't come off all the pens. It's just some of the pens. Like these mini ones for whatever reason. It comes off this one too. This is the blue one. Let's see if I can do it without it doing it. Haha, I did it. This is the mini AL blue. This is actually the first AL that I ever got. Oh, I need to clean that out. This is actually, I got the mini AL before I ended up getting any of the 580s because I just like the size and I was worried this would be too big. I like both sides. Probably the mini is my favorite. I don't know, just because. And then I have a Twsbi Vac Mini. Unfortunately, this needs to be cleaned, but also unfortunately it's broken. I have like severe cracking issues here at the threads because you have to twist to post, and it to the point it doesn't even twist to post anymore. I need to contact Twsbi and see if I can at least get a new barrel or what I can do customer service wise, because I actually love this pen. I haven't used it a whole ton, but I love this pen. Yeah, so I have heard that like if you over tighten it can cause cracking, but like I don't feel like I do that. Maybe I do, I don't know. But yeah, so that's an issue. And this might be an old, I don't know. But there's all kinds of cracking to the point where it like bows out now and I can't even put the cap on. So it's a thing that I need to contact Twsbi about, like I've said. I just haven't done it yet. So yeah, but I love this pen too. And I'm really excited to get the Vac Mini, or the Vac. Vac. Also, for the Twsbi Mini, I want the classic, which comes with the black cap. I just haven't done that either because I'm like, you know, there's so many other pens to get. I am so easily swayed by other pens. So anyway, so this is my PenBBS 480. This is the Nyangao finish. This was a gift from my friend Casey. It has a, I think it's a medium nib. Yeah, medium nib on it. And yeah, it's just a really pretty finish. Our friend Count over at Creepy Nibs is a huge fan of this particular finish. And, oops, it's coming apart. Is a huge fan of this particular finish. And they have lots of these pens. Not this particular pen, but like lots of pens in this material. And yeah, it's very pretty. And yeah, Casey sent it to me because it was not a thing that she was enjoying. So, which is great because I almost like bought one of these and then it showed up on my doorstep. So thank you, Casey, for sending this lovely pen. And I've had somebody ask about why I call this kitty cat. It's because the, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but the owner of PenBBS has a cat named Nyangao. And yeah, I think the pen material used to be called Nyangao is a cat. And the owner of PenBBS actually has a few pens in materials similar to this in different colors that are named after her cats. I think there's one called Amber, and is there maybe a third one? I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah, I like watching PenBBS videos from other people. I haven't really jumped down that rabbit hole yet because I'm like, oh great, affordable pens. Anyway, like, oh, I need more affordable pens. I'm already spending my money on the unaffordable ones. Unaffordable? Is that even a word? Whatever. Moving along. This is a PenBBS 355 that I ordered after, I was going to say peer pressure, but that's not right. It's not my friend's fault that I ordered one. I actually, they had ordered them, like a bunch of my friends had ordered these, and I didn't. And then one day I was like, you know what, I really kind of want one. And I specifically wanted this one. I wanted this finish. It has the snowflake nib on it. This is a medium nib. I think it's a medium nib. I don't know that it says, but it looks like it's a medium nib. Yeah, I specifically wanted this finish and I wanted the medium nib, and then it had sold out. And then one day I was like, oh, I'm just going to go look at their website, see what they got. And they had this in stock with medium nib, and I said, cool, I'm getting it. So I got it. This is the Edison Nouveau Premier. I don't remember what this one was called. It has a medium nib. I don't remember what the color was called though. It's purple with its purpley swirl. It's the Spring 2018 edition. If you can see that. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a really pretty, it's got lots of chatoyance in there. I like the ribbons, the white ribbon going through it. It's purple, so I had to have it. This one is called Delphinium. This is their summer 2017 version. I stopped getting these even though they're pretty and I like the material. This also has a medium nib. I kind of wish I would have gotten different nibs. But because I don't like how pointy the ends are. Like, I don't mind a cigar shaped pen, although I'm finding that I prefer like the flat top pens, but it's pokey and I have almost injured myself with it a few times. So yeah, it's a really pretty pen. I don't use it a whole ton. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, beautiful. This is the Conklin Duraflex. This was the limited edition black and rose gold. I have number 1381 out of 1898. This has the flex nib, but it has the first version of the flex nib that was terrible, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, if I can show it to you. That's too, like, my nib, it's like off cut a little bit, and it's annoying and I can't stand it, and I don't actually use it, but it's limited edition, so I'm here for it. I'm hoping that maybe, I know that they've come out with some new nibs, new flex nibs for the Conklin, so maybe I can get like a replacement nib, or I think there was also like problems with the feet. I don't know. I haven't researched it enough. I don't use the pen enough. It sits in the case. I don't really care. So yeah, I'm sure that there are things that I can do that I just haven't taken the time to do, but it's rose gold and it's black and it's pretty and I have one. And it's in the 1300s, which I really enjoy. So this is a Conklin Duragraph. This has the medium nib, I think. Well, the nib isn't marked, but I'm pretty sure it's a medium nib. And this is the Purple Knights version, which I think used to be exclusive to Goulet. I'm not sure if it is still, or if whatever. But yeah, so I have that. And I actually like using this pen. The nib is not always the greatest. I think it was like misaligned, and I think I might have fixed it. I don't remember. The last time I used this pen, it had, I need to clean it actually. It had a Rodman Gunpowder Tea from Birmingham Pen Company, which was the sample I got from my friend Casey, and I love that ink. And actually I love that ink in this pen. Next up we have Twsbis. All the Twsbis. I have Cement Gray. This has a medium nib. I have white with an extra fine nib. I got the white one because I didn't have a white one, and I don't have the white. When I bought this one, I didn't have the white, the black, or the clear, which were the only other Twsbis, aside from special editions that I might have missed, that I didn't have. So I bought the white one in an extra fine because I didn't have an extra fine nib, and yeah, I love it. I used to keep Alexander Hamilton in it, but now I keep Roaring Klinger Document Black in here because it's good for like, because it's waterproof. It's good for doing on I use it to fill out my ink sample labels. So yeah, because it's waterproof, and I have seen that if ink leaks, you can still read what it is. Then I have the Rose Gold Eco, which has PenBBS. I forget the number, but the name is June Pearl in it right now. Then I have the Twsbi Pastel Pink. This one, I think this is the extra fine. No, this is the fine. The blue. I have the Pastel Blue, which is the one that's missing down here. Pastel Blue as the extra fine. And these came out, I think they were exclusive to another country, Japan, China, somewhere overseas, and then they ended up being released. They released them in the United States for a moment, and I got one. They were only available in fine and extra fine, so I got one. I got one of each in a nib size. So this is the fine, and the Pastel Blue is extra fine that I don't have right now, so you won't be able to see it. So that's the fourth pen that I'm missing. Then I have Twsbi Pink, which has a medium nib. I currently have J. Arbonne. I think it's Gris de Houle. I'm saying that wrong, I'm sure. But yeah, it's beautiful green, or green, not green. It's beautiful gray. It's a beautiful gray ink. I love it. I've had it in here since 30 days when I put it in this pen. I've been too scared to use it. So yeah. Then I have Twsbi Transparent Blossom Red. I have this inked with Colorverse Dirty Red, which I'm about out of it. Yeah, I was waiting to open all my birthday presents to see if I might have gotten this one, because I had been talking about inks before my birthday, and so I figured didn't expect anybody to get anything, but I have a really good habit of ruining presents, so I was really purposeful not to buy things that somebody else could have gotten me. So yeah, if I need to get it, I will get it. I also said I was getting it, so I'm hoping nobody got it so I can still get it. I have a birthday coupon to use, and if I am buying it myself, then I have it to use. I've been using the crap out of this pen. I have a medium, and with this ink, it's like a super wet pen, and I love this combination. I love this ink. It's everything. Like, possibly new favorite red category territory. Favorite dark red for sure. This is a Twsbi Eco Tea. I have a medium nib on here. This is the coral color. I actually don't like the Eco Tea. I don't like, the grip is slightly triangular, and it's just enough that I don't know how to hold. Oh, my fingers are so gross. I'm sorry. That is Nebula Space Kitty for anybody who's curious. Yeah, like the triangular grip. I don't know, something about it. It's like sometimes it's okay, and then sometimes it just really bothers me. So yeah, it's not my favorite. In fact, unless Twsbi Eco Teas come out in some like fantastic, amazing color that I have to have, I won't be buying them anymore because I really just don't like them. So save myself $30. This is my Twsbi Transparent Orange. Yeah, I have a 1.1 stub. I need to clean this pen some more. Like, I know that I have cleaned this pen within an inch of its life, so I don't know what ink is in here. Did I use it for a dip test once maybe and just never cleaned it out? Anyway, I have a 1.1 stub on this nib, or on this pen. This is another one. I actually just bought a second one because I cracked a section and I found the pen at a good deal at a retailer that is doing away with their fountain pens. So if you want good deals on Twsbi's, check out, I think it's AD Penworks with an X, not a KS. I'll link them in the show notes. I just ordered a replacement and that actually just showed up. I haven't unboxed it yet. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one, but yeah, I have a second one to replace it because I really like this pen. Yeah, then I have the Twsbi Yellow Eco, which currently has Alexander Hamilton in it. This has a fine nib, and I bought it to be a Hufflepuff pen. I was going to put Twsbi Black in it, and actually I did keep Twsbi Black in it for a while, and then I put a red ink during 30 days during June. Yeah, so I guess I'm kind of just doing whatever. But yeah, so this is Twsbi Yellow Eco. This is a shade of yellow that I really actually like. Yellow is probably my least favorite color besides, never mind, I was going to make a snarky comment. So I'm growing as an adult and I'm not going to do it, but, yeah, so, yeah, so as for yellow, this is a really pretty yellow and I actually enjoy it. It makes me happy. This is the Twsbi Eco Lime Green. I have a, or is it green yellow? Oh, this needs to be cleaned too. What the heck? This has a broad nib on it. Oh, I think I did like an ink test. Oh, is this from, I wonder if this is from when I did the Twsbi video. This must be when I did the Twsbi ink video. Yeah, so this is the lime green. It looks positively fluorescent. It's not even in the frame. The turtle will be happy. She can't even see the pen. It looks positively fluorescent right now. It's not usually quite this bright, but I kind of dig it. Yeah. So yeah. Then we have the transparent green. I currently still have sea glass, Troublemaker sea glass in this pen. I have a medium nib. I used this, I got the red one and the green one kind of like around Christmas, and I used those two as my Christmas card letters, or my Christmas card pens. I kept Diamine Shimmertastic Golden Ivy in this pen for probably 2 years and had zero problems with it. I know I talked about that in the comments. Somebody was talking about being scared of shimmer inks, and so yeah, so if you're scared of shimmer inks, I suggest getting a pen that you could dedicate to them. I pretty much use shimmers exclusively in Twsbis. Every once in a while I'll put it in a different pen, but my Twsbis are like it's so fun to watch the shimmer. I mean, this isn't shimmer, but it's so fun to watch the ink slosh around in there, and they seal up pretty good so it doesn't dry out. Like, you might have some hard starting at the nib and you just prime the feed and then it's fine. But yeah, for the most part, shimmer inks perform like really nicely in here, and I have had no problems. So if you are scared of shimmer inks, I suggest getting a pen to dedicate to it, and if you want a pen to dedicate to it, I suggest a Twsbi because they're easy to clean. I mean, it's a piston, but they're also easy to like take apart if you need to, if you're not scared of doing that. I don't typically take my Twsbis apart unless I absolutely have to. So yeah. Then I have Twsbi Eco Turquoise. This has a medium nib on it. I was just buying medium nibs for a while because it's my preferred nib size, and I just like branched out. Oh, sorry, I got an alert. Hold on 1 second. Close. My thing has not been, it's not even plugged in, that's why. I had my phone plugged in so it would charge, but it's not charging because it's not plugged in. Because I had to plug my computer in so it could charge so I could upload the last video. Anyway. This actually is not taking as long as I thought it would, so, I mean, we're only on one pen case though, so I can speed it up. Maybe you don't want to see every single pen. This is another Twsbi Eco T. This is the mint blue. I have a extra fine nib on it, I think. Yeah, I like having black pens in my Twsbi extra fines. Or black inks in my Twsbi extra fines. I don't know why. But again, I bought this because I like the color. I don't think that I would buy another Twsbi Eco T unless it was like a really pretty color, like purple or something. This is where the Twsbi pastel blue lives, when I know where it is. I don't currently know where it is, so yeah. This is the Twsbi transparent blue. This has a broad nib on it, and I currently have Namasu Coal Sack Nebula in this pen. I actually had this bottle of ink, and then I sent it to a friend, but before I sent it to the friend, I took a sample for myself, and I filled this pen, and it was still like I sent them a whole brand new bottle of ink. But yeah, I love this ink, and I'm really sad it's discontinued. Yeah. So cool. Done with the Twsbis. On to my platinums. So I got the platinum. This is the Nice Lilas. No, the Nice Lilas in a fine nib. I don't know what possessed me to get a fine nib, but I did. The fine is too fine. It's a really pretty color though, and I think I was just trying to experiment. It's rose gold trim. Yeah, I don't know really what to say about it. The only thing that bothers me about these pens is like the trim is rose gold, but they couldn't have bothered to make the converter rose gold. So it's silver, and it looks weird because you can see through the pen. That's the only thing that bothers me about this pen. The nib is kind of fine for me, but like the Twsbis, I don't mind like if there's a black ink in here. I really like, for whatever reason, I really like my black inks in an extra fine or in a really fine nib. So if I want to use this pen, I usually put like a really dark ink in here. I ordered this when it was like, you know, numbered edition. It's not numbered on the pen, it just came with like a blotter card, but these aren't limited edition pens. You can get them. I don't think they're planning on doing away with them either. Yeah. And then I got this one because I thought this was going to be the closest to purple that they'd ever get with lilacs, but then they came out with the lavande version. So I figured since the fine was way too fine, I would go up and try it broad. I actually have a crack in the section here, and I don't know how that happened. I don't know if you can see that. So that kind of stinks. I haven't contacted them for any warranty service or anything. But yeah. And I don't know what. Oh, I have, do I still have shiny black in here? I thought I cleaned that out. Maybe I didn't. What ink do I have in here? Where is my notebook? What ink I have in here? What ink is in here? Because I thought I cleaned shiny black out of it. But maybe I didn't? It looks like it's gray though. I have no idea what ink is in here. Okay, we'll set this off to the side and let it dry. And see what happens. Because I thought I cleaned out shiny black. I had it in here, but then I dumped it out, so I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, that's that. And this is a Namasu pen. I have no idea what the model is. It's a metal pen. I bought it off a Kickstarter. I have a cartridge in here. Clearly it needs to be cleaned out. I never use this pen. I don't even know why I have it. It's really heavy, and I don't like metal sections. I just got sucked into like helping out Kickstarters. So yeah, so I have this pen. I don't use it. I don't do anything with it. It just sits here. Then I have a Lavender True Writer that I have a broad nib on. I actually really like this pen. I got it off Mass Drop. When I was like, I think it's just called Drop now, but when I was on Mass Drop, I used to go on there all the time looking for like fountain pen deals. Like I got some diamine inks, like at a pretty good deal once with them. And this pen was also one of those things that I got. Then I have a Monteverde Mountains of the World. This is Mount Vesuvius. I actually don't care for this pen. I have since done some nib work on it. I like to use this like around Halloween time, which I haven't yet. And actually I haven't inked Diamine Pumpkin in a pen yet, so maybe that's a thing that I rectify in the next couple of days. Looks like I might need to clean it out. I think I had done some nib work on it. It needed to be shimmed. It just wasn't writing very well. And yeah, I don't remember if I fixed the problem that I had with it or not. But I like the finish. It looks like fire. It's named after Mount Vesuvius. and it was of the versions that were available. For some reason, I was just drawn to this, so it's my Halloween pen. I pretty much only use it at Halloween. Although now I can put Lucky Orange in it instead of Diamond Pumpkin, but okay, awesome. Alrighty, okay, so that's case number 1. For those of you who like videos, long videos, you're going to be very happy. Next up is case number 2. This is my, oh, this is another good case. I think I'm going to speed this up a little bit and not pull out every single pen. But if you want me to look at something more in depth, please let me know. And I'm willing to do a video about the pens if you want. So you just saw a video about this. This is my diamine, or my Pelikan M205 Moonstone. This is the amethyst. You just saw these in a video. If you saw that video first, that video is up now. This one isn't, so it's a good chance you did. This is my Pelikan M600 white transparent. I have a medium nib on it that was tuned by the Nibsmith. I love it. This is probably, of all the pens, as much as I like this one, this is probably my favorite Pelikan. It was tuned and smoothed, and it's beautiful, and I love it. Actually, this one too. I like this one too. Even though this one wasn't tuned and smoothed, they write kind of similarly, and I just freaking love them. So yeah. So this, yeah, if I had to pick a favorite Pelikan, as much as I love the purple, I think this is the one I would pick. Next up, then I got the turquoise with some tax return money. I got the turquoise in a fine nib because I already had a medium nib, so I was like, oh well, I might as well like visit the nib sizes. Is my thing in focus? I hope so. It doesn't look like it's auto-focusing weird, but okay. It just looked weird. Probably my angle. Hopefully this isn't blurry. Oh my god, I'll be so embarrassed. And then I have, this year, I bought with tax return money, the violet white. I ordered the turquoise and the purple one from Applebaum in Netherlands because they had them available and the price was a little less expensive. Yeah, so then I also have the Pelikan M805 Ocean Swirl. I love this pen. It's heavy and it's kind of big. This is probably the biggest I would ever go in a Pelikan. I think an M1000 would just be like way too much. This is already, I just love the way this feels. It feels really nice in the hand. It's really hefty, but like, but comfortable, if that makes sense. I love the Ocean Swirl. I love that material. If they did this in a purple or a pink or a purple and a pink, I'd die. But yeah, but I love the Ocean Swirl. I think it's beautiful. And I have a medium nib on this one too. Amazing. The M805, because M805 has metal parts in it, is significantly heavier than the M205 and the M600, and I don't have an M400 to compare that to, but I feel like the M400 is like, I don't know if it's the same size or if it's in, I don't know if it's the same size but better materials, or if it's kind of in between sizes, but the M600 is probably my favorite Pelikan size. And this is a little, it's a little thinner, a little skinnier, and then this is, it's not too big, but it's definitely heftier, and I don't usually use this for very long writing sessions because it's so big. Yeah, but the M600, that's probably my perfect size. Your mileage may vary, but yeah, in my opinion, the M600 605 series is the perfect Pelikan size. Not having tried a 400 or anything else. Next up I have a Franklin-Christoph. This is the Model 31. This is the purple color, and it's really pretty. Chatoyancy purple. I have a medium nib, just a medium steel nib. This is before I was scared to try other nibs. But I love it. I love it. I don't usually use the clip, but it does work like a clip. The only thing that I have a problem with is sometimes the body will come undone, so I try not to over tighten it because I don't want it to crack. I don't even know if that would be an issue, but sometimes it comes loose, and yeah, because the threads are pretty blocky, and I don't know if that's why. I don't know. Sometimes that happens. So then I have an antique ice it's Arctic ice. It's kind of glowing purple, so I think it's Arctic ice. This is the Franklin-Christoph Model 45. I have a Masuyama medium stub on here, which is, I haven't used this pen enough to like really have an opinion on it. Maybe I need to put this nib in one of the pens that I use more. It only takes a converter, or you can eyedropper it. It looks dumb with a converter in it. I acknowledge that. But I also don't like eyedroppering pens really. So yeah. Before I decided that though, I got the Model 45 Ghost. It's a little ghost pen. Again, the converter or eyedropper issue applies here. Oh yeah. So yeah, and I have a broad nib on this one, and I have not eyedroppered it, but I have had a cartridge in here before, and I love this pen. I love this pen a lot. Actually, should probably use it more than I do. A pen that I love more than the rest of those, though, is the Model 45L. This is the larger version of the 45, and it's larger, so it holds a converter. You could also eyedropper it, so you'd have even more ink capacity, but if you didn't want to, it takes a converter. And I always keep this pen. This is Salmon Glow, I think is the color name. I always keep this pen inked with Ackerman Gourmet Pens Pink. It's my Gourmet Pens Pink pen. And then I have a broad sig nib. Oops, I have a broad sig nib on this pen, which I got because I thought it was maybe a gourmet pensy sort of nib. So yeah, plus I wanted to try it. So yeah, so next up we have my Sailors and some random pilot pens. This is the Sailor Look Cool in the pearl finish. I know lots of people like the quartz finish, but the quartz finish looks a little too orangey, a little too peachy for me. So I decided to go with the white version, which has like the iridescent pink on it, and that is pink enough for me. I just love it. I think it's a cute pen. The nib is a medium fine steel nib, so it's one of their less expensive pens. I think I got it for like $30 on eBay. Yeah, it's just a cute little pen. I currently have a black cartridge that came with it in here. I have since ordered a converter, so I can use whatever ink I want in here, but yeah, I need to use the converter first, or use the cartridge first. I mean, I don't have to, I just want to. Next up, I have my my Sailor Pro Gear Slim Purple Cosmos. This is my very first Sailor pen, I think. No. I can't remember actually now which one I got first. I think I got this one first, because I think I couldn't resist it, and then I realized that Sailor pens were amazing. But also, I got a bigger nib on this one because I think I didn't like the nib on this one. It was too fine. So I think actually maybe this is my favorite. This is my first Sailor. This is the Winter Camellia, also known as Yuki Tsubaki, and for whatever reason I can remember that name better than Winter Camellia. It's the white version with red speckles, and I usually keep a red ink in here. I have had a black or a dark blue ink in here before, but typically when I ink this pen I think red because of the speckles. And then the Purple Cosmos, I wasn't gonna get it like when it first came. Actually, when it first came out, I was like, yes, I definitely have to have this pen. It's purple, it's sparkly, it's silver, it's me in a pen. If I were a pen, this is the pen I would be. Yeah, so I love it. They've since come out with a blue version and a red version. I don't like the shade of blue. I do like the red one. But yeah, the Purple Cosmos is my life. And I keep this permanently inked with Califolio and Adrianople. I actually picked the ink to go with this pen after listening to the Pen Addicts, and I liked it so much that that's just where it stays. Next up, I have my Sailor Pro Gear Angel's Delight that I recently purchased as a very hefty birthday gift to myself. An impulse purchase for sure, but you know, what are you gonna do? This has a medium nib on it. It's beautiful. I love everything about it. I love writing with this pen. I'm on the second fill. I have Sailor Manyo Kiku in here right now. I was going to put a Kebi, but when I needed to fill a pen, I couldn't find the sample. I'd like cleaned a bunch of stuff off, so the sample wasn't where it should have been. And yeah, I love Sailor Kuzu in this pen. Might need to get a bottle. Haven't gotten there yet, but yeah. I also enjoy Sailor Kiku in here as well. Okay, so it does look like this was shiny. I don't know if it's remnants of shiny black. I don't know what ink is in here because it's gray now. And shiny black is definitely black, so I don't know, whatever. So anyway, this is Sailor Manyo Kiku. This is terrible handwriting. Terrible writing, but beautiful ink, beautiful pen. It has the perfect amount of feedback, but it's also like really smooth, and the medium nib, even though it's like on the finer side of a line than I typically like, it's perfect. It's perfect. This pen is perfect. Yes. Next up, I have my Sailor 1911 Standard in the Fresca color. This was a North American exclusive in 2017, I think. I think that's when I bought this at the San Francisco Pen Show. I went to the Anderson Pens booth because I wanted to try the Zoom nib, and I knew that they had them because they sell Sailors. I don't know why I'm holding this in my right hand. It feels weird. But yeah, so I tried the Zoom nib and then decided to get it. I'm still trying to love the Zoom nib. I don't know what I was going to write. Robert, Foster, Sydney, Lavender. I love this ink in this pen, which is helping me like it. Yeah, so I don't know. The jury's still out on this pen. But yeah, it's interesting, and it was my first Sailor 1911 that I bought it. It's my first pen that I bought at a pen show. I went to the San Francisco Pen Show this year, and I only had time to wander around the market for very little, like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And so I got this at Anderson Pens. I got some ink from Van Ness Pens, and I spent some time at the ink testing tables, which is one of the highlights of the San Francisco Pen Show. And then I came back home, and don't regret anything. It was a great trip, and I'm glad that I got to do it. I haven't been able to go back to the show since. I missed 2018, I missed 2019, and then obviously 2020 canceled everything. So yeah. So that's that. Next up, I have my Sailor 1911 Standard in Anchor Gray. I have a broad nib on this pen. I love it. Yeah, I just love it. I was going to say up until, well, I don't have any, all my Sailors are my favorites. I love this. I love gray inks in this pen. I love the broad nib. It has feedback, but it's not, too much. It's just beautiful. And then my pride and joy. As much as I love this and I'm glad that I got it, I still think of the two pens that I purchased, I like this one the best. But I love both of them. I love both of them. This has a broad nib on it. It has the black ion plated trim. I love it. It's so pretty. I currently have this inked with Sailor Ink Studio 650, which is a perfect match. Purple and black or purple and gray is my favorite combination. So these two together, plus everything else I bought this month, is basically my birthday present to myself. But these are really what's going to make me think of my 40th birthday. Yes, that's right, 40. I am 40 today, so that's hard for people to imagine, but I was born in 1980. I know I sound like a 5-year-old and I act like one, but yes, I'm 40 as of today. This is my Pilot Custom 74. This is a pen that I use that doesn't get enough love because when I was using it at work, it didn't like the paper that I have to use at work so much. But since I've played with it at home, I actually kind of dig it and expect to use this pen a little more probably. Yeah, I like it. I almost got the violet one, and then when I was buying it, the violet wasn't really speaking to me, the orange didn't speak to me, and the clear seemed was it clear or black? what they have. I don't know. They have like 4 or 5 colors. The other colors weren't really speaking to me, but I was like dead set on getting the purple one. And then I was like, no, I don't like the purple one. So I got the blue one. And then they came out with Merlot and teal. And I love those two even better. If I would have waited a few months, I probably would have gotten the Merlot and maybe the teal. I don't need 3 of these pens though. So I have not yet done that. Next up, I have a Pilot Kakuno. I had gotten some grief for not having one of these, so I snuck one in a JetPens order, and now I have one. I still haven't used it. In fact, is the cartridge? Oh, no, there's no cartridge in here. I have a converter. It has the little smiley face on it. Little smiley face nib. Can you see it? I think you can see it. My camera's a little too high up, so I can't see. I have a medium nib. I haven't used it yet. That's okay. It's pink and it's gray, and I got the clip because I wanted to. Actually, I don't think I bought a separate clip. I just had one that I took off of Kaweco, and so it's just on here. Then I have my Pilot Prera, which I love, 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 love. Has the best pen click ever. I currently have it inked with Copper and Aurora from Monteverde, which was a sample I received from this turtle. And yeah, actually I haven't used it that much. It's been in the case where I had like my currently inked pens, and I've been working my way through other pens and haven't picked this one up yet. So I should rectify that as well, considering Halloween is coming. Next up, flip the page. We'll move over to the rest of my Pilot collection and some Kawecos. I have my collection of Vanishing Point and Edison. The turquoise was a gift from Ms. Turtle. It's beautiful. Currently inked with Pilot Roshizuku Takasumi. I have the Vanishing Point Twilight. This was the 2015 special edition. I ordered it. I was looking on eBay and somebody had it available, and it was not as much money as I was expecting it to be, so I just bought it. A lot of these pens are purchased with money I probably shouldn't have spent. So yeah, so you see this collection and you might see the money that's spent, or you might be, oh, I'm so jealous. But a lot of these pens actually signify bad financial decisions, so don't be too jealous. This is the Pilot Vanishing Point, the Crimson Sunrise. It's kind of the like opposite of Twilight, sort of. Yeah. And this was a special edition, I think 2017. And then actually the very first Vanishing Point I ever got was the Rodin Galaxy. I ordered this. Gula used to sell this in a like a set. It came with a bottle of Iroshizuku ink. I think it came with Yamabudo. I think it came with, or maybe you could select it. I can't remember. But it came with a bottle of Iroshizuku ink, and then also a notebook, a Clairefontaine notebook. It was like Rachel's favorite things or something like that. Oh, I'm sure that this is not showing it off at all correctly. I can't tell, but it's really pretty. So I got this when it was like the price jumped like double, and so I happened to get it like around a tax return time, I think, or maybe a third paycheck sort of deal, where I had a little extra money to spend, and I think it was like $300 or $320 or something. I don't know, something that sounds really cheap compared to prices now. Yeah. So I got a good deal on it. I didn't pay what they're charging for it now. And then this is a Pilot Decimo. I was wanting like an easy pen to throw in my bag, to kind of keep with like my planner or notebook. And I thought like sometimes the Vanishing Point and the Decimo are like, they're very different sizes. The Decimo is much thinner than the Vanishing Point. Sometimes the clip doesn't bother me, but sometimes the pen itself seems like it's a little too thick. So I wanted to get a Decimo and see how I liked it, and the Decimo is a little too thin. I've talked about this before in a viewer request video, but this pen, the size of this pen anyway, just reminds me of my mom's like checkbook register pen. Her pen, I think, was even skinnier than this, but she always just had, it was a thin gold pen that she just kept in her checkbook. And yeah, so that just reminds me of her. It's not anything directly reminiscent of her, but it just reminds me of her. This is the Pilot E95S in the, I think it's burgundy and ivory. This was a gift from an anonymous benefactor, and I love it. It has a medium nib. I just love it. This pen just feels like, it doesn't feel like I'm holding anything. It's one of the few pens that I have that I think because it's so light and delicate, will just let it glide across the page instead of like having to hold on to it like really tight and just like right with it. Like, it's one of the few I just hold in my hand. My hands are so gross. I'm so sorry. I just hold it in my hand and like let it. I think because it doesn't have like a defined grip section, I can just like hold it wherever and just wherever it feels comfortable, and I can just write with it. It's beautiful. I love it. This has a medium nib on it, which is beautiful. So thank you, anonymous benefactor, for this lovely gift. I love it greatly. I loved it so much, actually. I turned around and bought another one. Actually, I bought one for a friend, and then I kind of wanted the fine nib size as well to try it out, and then I ended up just being on Amazon one time and they had it. So this one says Elite and the other one says E. They are the same pen though. I'm sure there's a reason for like one's from Japan and one isn't. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. It writes beautifully. This is a fine nib. It's much thinner. It's kind of like the Vanishing Points where the nib units are like way different. This is the difference between the fine and the medium is pretty stark to me. It's very noticeable, but I like them both and I love them both, and I'm glad that I had both of them. I don't think I would get an extra fine. I think the fine is just fine enough. It's teetering on the edge of too fine for my personal writing taste, but it's beautiful and I love it, and I'm glad I got it. And I liked it because I liked mine so much. I actually bought the black and gold one for a friend because I knew that this is a pen that they would love, and I was correct. So anyway, moving along, we have Custom 823. This is the amber finish. I have a broad nib on it. I actually bought this. I basically spent my whole tax return this year on pens. I really wanted the smoke and gold, and then when I went to buy it, I couldn't make a decision. And so I bought the smoke and gold, or I bought the smoke version, and then Goulet also had the amber version as a bottom shelf deal. And I was like, I couldn't decide between nib sizes. I wanted a medium or a broad, and I couldn't decide. I think somebody did a video and they had a broad, but I kept seeing everybody else had a medium, and I couldn't decide. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get both of them, and then maybe I'll return one. Well, you can't return a bottom shelf deal, so I pretty much knew I was gonna keep this one no matter what. And then I love the medium so much that I was like, okay, well now I just have two of them. So that's what happened there. So yeah, and actually I do love both of them. I think I actually prefer the medium better in this particular instance. The broad is just so juicy that it's a lot. So yeah. Then I have my Pilot Falcon, which currently doesn't have ink in it, I don't think. I think I emptied it and need to clean it. Yeah. I have a soft medium on here, and I bought this after other people had been talking about it, and then I got an email that the prices were going up, and I was like, well, I don't want to pay, like, it already been in the back of my mind to get one. Sorry, I needed to stop and take a drink. I've been talking too much. It'd been in the back of my mind to get one, and then when I saw the price was going up, I was like, okay, I'm getting it. And I do not regret it. I actually love this pen a whole lot. Yeah, I don't do flex writing with it. I just use it like normal, but it's bouncy and soft and beautiful, and I enjoy it. If I get line variation with my natural writing, then great. I don't push it though, unless I'm just showing it off in a video. This is my Pilot Metropolitan. I think it's called like Plum Leopard or something like that. I have a fine nib on it because I didn't know any better when I was ordering. Maybe I didn't have a choice. I don't know. I don't like this pen though. It's heavy. It's too heavy. And the section is really, really thin and tiny, and it's really uncomfortable. Like, unless I hold it like bonkers, it's really uncomfortable for me to write. And I don't like the fine nib, like, at all. So I don't use it. Also, what I have noticed with this pen, it doesn't really seal very well, so I, like, if I put ink in it and then let it sit, the next time I go to try it, like, the ink is all dried up. And it's just not, everybody recommends it as a good beginner pen, and it's, like, stylish and cute, and you can get them in a lot of colors, which is a nice draw, but I just, I mean, this click is also kind of, it's no Pilot Prera click, but it is, it can be satisfying. Snap caps are fun. But yeah. But anyway, this is a pretty pen, but not one that I gravitate towards. This is a Kaweco Liliput with a bronze clip. It's a very tiny pen. It's very skinny and small, and you twist to post, or you twist to post. It's very heavy. For as small as it is, it's really heavy. It's really heavy for as small as it is. I have actually washed this pen. This is the fire blue finish, but I washed it in the washer. I don't think it dried. I think it just washed. But my finish kind of dulled out. It's still very pretty and I love it, but it's not as vibrant as it once was. But I have a extra fine nib on this, a Kaweco extra fine, and it actually writes more like a fine, and I love it. I actually, even though it's skinny and heavy, I love writing with this pen a lot. Next up, I have Kaweco, I think this is called Blue Lagoon. This was a exclusive to another country. I don't remember which one though, somewhere overseas. And it's just pretty. That's it. I also have the Serenity Blue, which was an exclusive, I want to say to China. They did the Serenity Blue and the Serenity Pink from the year that they had, like, Pantone had two colors, and I couldn't find the pink anywhere. I think I have since seen the pink on Amazon, for actually not a lot of money, but I didn't buy it, and I don't know if it's still available. So if you were interested in a powder pink Kaweco, you might be able to find that there. Next up, I have the navy. This is the classic, so it has the gold finishes, and this has a fine nib on. Oh no, it has a medium nib on it, but it writes really finely, and I don't actually care for it. I love the navy blue, but I don't care for the nib that I have on here. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to work on it. It's not a pen that I gravitate towards. I also have a royal purple, which is never mind. I also have a royal purple. I actually had two of these because I was looking for the metallic purple, and the description kind of said it was maybe the metallic purple, even though the picture was this one. So I ended up with two of them for a time, and then I ended up sending one off as a gift. And then I also have the pink Skyline Sport. And also, even though I should probably order these differently, I also have the metallic purple. This is the pen that got away. I missed out on it, and then Cult Pens got them in, and I went to go buy one, and my boss came up to me while I was ordering it. I have like 3 different bosses that I report to, and the boss that like never needs me for anything happened to come over and need me, and I got carjacked and missed out on it. So yeah, I think I came into fountain pens after the like hullabaloo of this one. I think Goulet sold it for a minute, because every time I looked for it, their pictures popped up. But then Cult Pens had it, and then nobody had it. To the point, I wanted this pen so bad that I actually emailed Kaweco and was like, hey, do you like maybe have any of these in the back that I could buy? And they said no, they didn't. It was exclusive to Cult Pens, and they didn't have any more. And then one day I got a DM on Instagram from somebody, and she told me that Amazon had them available, and I was like, are you kidding me? And they had 2 available, so I bought one. And then I had my coworker at work, she also was into fountain pens, and she also likes Kawecos. She has like the, I think it's cappuccino or macchiato. It's like, I call it Band-Aid because it's like that, like, like light, very light beige one. And I think she had the gray one, and she had some other ones, but she didn't have like the quote unquote pretty colors that I did. So I told her about this. I was like, it's limited edition. I don't know if it's still available. I don't know if you're interested in it, but here you go. And she ended up getting one. I swapped my nib out though. It came with a fine nib. I swapped it out for a broad nib, and I'm very happy with this combination. Last in this regular sports is the Kaweco Frosted Coconut. This is a pen that I received as a gift from an anonymous fiend. And yeah, I love it. It came with the black clip. I mean, it didn't come with the clip. They ordered the clip to come with the pen to me. And then I ordered a black broad nib to complete the look of the pen, because this pen is sexy as hell with black trim. There is a black crystal version that is being released. I think Pen Chalet or Goulet, some email that I recently looked at, and it just says black crystal in like a, I forget what font they use, but in a black font, and the trim and the finial is black, and like everything is black, and it's like white like this, but everything's black, and I'm like, I don't like, the only difference is from this pen is the font change and the finial. I'm okay with what I have. Plus the font is kind of ugly. Yeah, and then I have an all sport, which is my first all sport. This was an exclusive to another country. I don't remember which country, and I bought one. It came in fine, I believe, and then I lost it. I couldn't find it. It ended up being in a bag. My quilting bag, I took it to a quilting retreat, ended up being in there, and I found it much later, but not until they released the pen in the United States. They had a small run of them, and I ordered another one because I was like, I need this pen. So I kept one, and then I ended up giving one to a friend, so now I only have one. And then I also got a black clip for this because I thought it was pretty, and I swapped it out for a black double broad nib, which is a combination that I also love. I haven't had any like baby's bottoms problems with the broad nibs yet. I don't know if that will happen ever, but currently I have not had a problem with those. So there we go. That's pen case number 2. Oh my god, I've been talking for an hour. That means it's going to take like another half an hour. You guys wanted long videos. Those of you who wanted long videos, you got your wish. Alright. The last pen case. Actually, I have a pen pouch as well to go through, but that's easy and quick. So these are kind of like miscellaneous pens. I have like a Lamy side, and then this is just a mishmash of everything else. Yeah. So I have my Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age. Oops. I like managed to pull that off. I unhooked the hook safe lock. I have a medium nib, and this is the 23 karat palladium nib. Yes. I love this pen. It's the lava, it's the bronzy material. It has the patina on the cap. I love this to the point where I don't even need another Visconti. Like, I want the Homo Sapiens Midnight in Florence. If I don't ever get it, I'll live. But yeah, like this pen right here, I don't need another pen, especially now that they're switching the nibs to like 14 karat gold, which is not a problem. I don't or even 18 karat gold. I don't have a problem with gold nibs. Clearly I have a lot of them, but you know, once you write with the palladium nib, it just seems like why would I want to do anything else? I don't know. I got this at a really good deal, so grappling with the actual like price of Viscontis now, especially with the changes going, especially with the changes like the nibs being downgraded, in my personal opinion. Yeah, I don't have need for another one. I love this one as it is, and it's perfect and it's beautiful. It wrote beautifully straight out of the box. It's amazing. I've had zero problems with this pen, and I would recommend it to anybody who wants one. It's very heavy. It is a power filler. I keep this permanently inked with one ink, so I don't have to worry about like cleaning it out pristinely every time. And I just love it. I love it. I got it for a really good deal, so yeah, I have a hard time paying what they're charging now for the lesser nibs. Not that they're lesser, but they're just not the palladium. This is my most expensive pen. This is the Aurora 888 Nebulosa. I love it. I have a medium nib on it that I actually want to get looked at and worked on by a nibsmith. I want it tuned and smoothed. I don't know. It looks like the nib is like misaligned, but also like there might be something wrong with it, but I've never done anything to the pen, so I don't know. It's beautiful. I have number 572 out of 888. And yeah, this for at my job, every 10 years that you're there, or at least for 10 and I think for 20, I most recently celebrated the 10-year milestone at my job, and they give you an extra week off. So they give you a trip. So they give you money towards a trip to go anywhere in the world. You can do whatever they call it, your milestone trip. They want you to go on a vacation. They don't want you to have to use your own personal vacation that you are earning, so they give you an extra week on top of the week that you have to take this trip. And so I ended up doing a trip to go see family 3 years ago, and it was, not as expensive as it would have been to go like on a tropical cruise or like to go on a really big fancy trip. I just hadn't seen family. I live far away from all my family, so I don't get to see them that often because I'm always the one that has to travel, and I'm not always able to do that. So a lot of my vacations tend to be going to see my family because I want to see my family. So I ended up using my milestone trip to go do that, and because the trip wasn't as expensive as what they gave you as your in your milestone trip bonus, I was able to buy a very fancy pen, and this is a much better. Excuse me, I need another drink of a beverage. This is a much better work anniversary present. It's more tangible. I think of it every time I look at the pen. It's just, yeah, I love it. I like writing with this pen, aside from the fact that I want to get the nib fixed, or at least looked at and tuned and smoothed and whatever. I don't know. I honestly don't remember. I've never dropped this pen. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I just want a professional to look at it. It's too expensive for me to want to try to do anything with it and screw it up. So yeah, so I just love it. I love the, I think it translates to Venus. It's like the light pink version. I love that one too. And if I could justify spending that kind of money on one pen, that's one that I'd probably get. I'm not going to get it. I'd prefer to get the Homo Sapiens instead, the Midnight in Florence. But yeah, this is my Birmingham Pen Company 6th Avenue. This is the Violet Beauregard Crystalline Edition. It's a first edition. It has a really nice, comfortable section. You could, even if you hold it, I don't know, it's just a really nice, comfortable section. This is actually a pretty big pen. It's chunky. It's long. I love the color. It writes beautifully. I have a left-handed fine nib on here from Namasu left-handed fine nib on here, and it's just beautiful. I've never really noticed a difference with left-handed nibs. I've tried Lamy left-handed nibs, and then this, I just got it because I was just I'll just try it out. It's probably not any different, but whatever. I can easily replace a Namasu nib. I have some. It's fine. So, or I can order them also. I have nibs I can play with if I don't like it. And so, yeah, but I love it. Yeah, I actually notice a difference. It's a very slight difference, and I don't think a normal right-handed person might notice a difference. It'd probably just write a normal nib to them, but I notice a difference, especially when I do my cross strokes, because I go from right to left instead of left to right. That's where I really notice it. But it's a really smooth, nice nib, and I'm glad that I decided to try it. Another custom pens. This is a Heinz pen. This is the Mermaid Madness. Oh, I need to clean this out. Oh, my ink is I have ink all in this cap. Alright, I need to clean this pen out. Yeah, so this is Mermaid Madness. It's a beautiful acrylic. It was hand poured by, I forget the person's name, but it's hand poured. And it always looks gray, but it's a really dusty, grayish lavender. It's really pretty. And then there's all kinds of sparkle and iridescence, and it's beautiful. And this pen this camera, these photos don't do it justice. It's much prettier in person. It's just beautiful though. And I have a purple plated broad nib on it. Ugh, I need to clean this pen out stat. But yeah, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous and I love it. Next up, I have a Ferris wheel press. This is the brush pen. I have, whatever, they originally only came with one nib. I think it's now what they call their medium nib. I think it was marketed as a medium fine, but I think it's now considered their medium nib. But I just love, this is a really skinny pen. And they don't recommend posting it because it's metal on metal will, oh yeah, I already did it, will, scratch your finish. So don't do what I just did, because I just scratched my finish. If you ever get one of these pens, don't try to post it. Even though I prefer how it feels posted, I have to really, like, make myself not post it. I actually have another one of these pens in Piccadilly Pink from their most recent Kickstarter. I like this pen. The nib is literally as hard as a nail. There's no flux, there's no softness, there's no give in it at all, but I love the way it writes. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm excited to get the pink version whenever that finally shows up. And I think I got the pink version in a fine nib. This is my Jin Hao X750. X750? Or X450? X750, yes. In the Shimmering Sands. As I have previously stated in my Pelikan video, I love me a sparkle pen. Actually, even on my Instagram post, I love me a sparkle pen. And the Jin Haos always, like, crack me up. They're always so hefty. Or at least most of the ones that I have are, like, actually, like, pretty heavy. And, yeah, this has a Namasu broad nib on it. I don't know what ink used to be in here. Nothing. Well, I mean, not nothing. There's obviously ink on here. But, yeah, I need to clean this pen out too. Yeah, so yeah, awesome. I don't use this as often because I think it is so heavy, but it's really nice. This is a Namasu Singularity pen in Azalea, I believe is the color name. I have a Goulet fine nib on here because I think it was holding, I used to have the Goulet fine nib on this pen and I swapped the nibs. But yeah, it's a cute pen. Just clear pink. It's really cute. Then they came out with the demo rose gold version. Ooh, this has ink in it still. I don't know what ink is in here. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so it's really pretty. And I have a Namasu medium nib on this one. And mystery ink. Next up in my lone Franklin-Christoph over here, this is the Model 02, I believe. Yeah, the Model 02. This is the antique ice. This is the Coke bottle glass. And yeah, it's just really nice. I like this finish a lot. I really like Franklin-Christoph pens a lot, actually. Next up, we have the additive pens. This is the double helix. I made the mistake of using, the very first ink I put in here was Emerald of Chivor, and it stained it teal. And then I put Golden Sands in here, and now I can't get the gold shimmer out. And I even washed it out with Waterman Serenity Blue, and still gold everywhere. There's not really a way for me to get in there and, like, clean it out, so I think it's just part of the pen now. And that's just the way it is. This is one of the very first versions. I don't know if they're current offerings. I think you can get these pens at Van Ness, and also I believe you can get them directly from Additive Pens. I don't know if any, like, newer versions still do this. But it is a 3D printed pen, so yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Your mileage may vary on these pens, but it's fun to play with. It is an eyedropper though, which is I don't typically enjoy eyedroppers. I've learned, so I don't use this pen a whole lot, but it's fun to use when I use it. Next up, we're getting so close. I have a few vintage pens. This is an Esterbrook SJ, I think. I think this is an SJ and this is a J. This is the smaller version in red. I don't know if that's the actual color name. I bought this online after finding this one at a flea market. I needed to clean. This one needed to be cleaned out pretty bad. Yeah, I probably still could use a little extra cleaning, but yeah, I bought this at a flea market for like 20 bucks. And then I bought this online for maybe 20 bucks too. I don't know. I don't remember what I paid for what, but yeah. Teeny tiny little vintage pens. I'm not really super into the vintage pens, but yeah. This is a Parker 51 that I bought off eBay. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. And then this is, I forget what this is. A Wall Eversharp, I think. It's a Symphony something or other, and it has a little bit of a flex nib on it. I'm not real good at writing with this pen, so I don't use it that often, but yeah, it's a vintage pen that is in my collection. So yeah, that's my vintage pens right there. I would love to get a vintage Pelikan. I'm trying not to get sucked too far down the vintage rabbit hole, because like once you go there, it's like tough to come back from, I think. This is a Diplomat Magnum, I think, a Diplomat of some kind, and it's in the prismatic purple is what Goulet calls it. The box says John Doe, but it's like blue or purple depending on how you look at it or how the light hits it. And I have a broad nib on it, and I got this because I liked the one that Chris over at her channel, Chris Signs, I like the one that she had, and I decided to try it. It's actually like a really skinny tiny pen. It's actually really light, but the nib is good. The nib is good. Definitely needs to be posted, I think. But yeah, it's a cute little pen. And then I have gift pens. This is my, what I always call my friendo pen, because it is from my friendo, my sweet wonderful friendo. This is a Wingsung 3003 in an extra fine. I currently have it inked with kelp tea, and I love this pen. It's my favorite pen for journaling. I have said this, all of these things before. I just love it. Yeah. If this house were on fire and I could only grab one pen, this is the pen I would grab. I have more expensive pens. I have fancier pens. I have lots of great pens, but this is the very first pen that I ever received as a pen friend gift, like a true pen friend gift. I've had like my pen friend, like coworker person, she like gave me a pen once, but it was just like, here you go. But this was a gift, and maybe it was like, here you go too, but it means a lot to me. It's very special. So this is also another gift pen. This is a Wingsung 626. This is a pen that I just received from the lovely Ms. Turtle for my birthday, and yeah, I have not inked it up yet because I just got it. And yeah, 30 Inks 30 Days is coming, and so you will probably see this in a 30 Inks 30 Days video, which is why I'm saving it. It's really pretty, the pink and the like cream and white. It's just so pretty. Like, just look at it. It looks vintagey and just, it looks so pretty. I love it. Oh, I love it. I mean, I love it, Turtle. It's beautiful. Look at how pretty it is. It comes with the two-tone nib, which I think is really pretty. I think it's a fine nib. Yeah, it says it's a fine nib. And yeah, I can't wait to like use this pen. So yeah, you'll probably see that. You'll see this in November for sure. I'm kind of saving it for that, to be perfectly honest. And then this was another gift pen from the lovely Nib Nerd. This is a Jin Hao Centennial, and it has, I don't know, I've seen it online called Red, but it kind of reminds me of that Koi Finish Platinum 3776, the celluloid one. Again, with the Jin Haos. This one isn't as heavy as the X750, but it's heftier than you'd think it would be. And I think this has a medium nib. And yeah, it's really pretty. It's kind of, it's just classic looking, and it's, yeah, awesome. So you'll probably see this in 30 Inks 30 Days as well, since I just got it and don't need to ink up like 20 more pens, so I'm saving them. Alrighty, and we're almost done. Well, I have a pouch to show you, but those are just like random pens. So this is my Lamy 2000. This is the only pen that I have ever purchased that I was literally mad at myself when I started writing with it. It's a great pen. I have a medium nib on mine. I don't really notice a sweet spot. I know some people talk about a sweet spot. I think if you get a finer nib, perhaps, maybe. I need to like wipe this off from inking it. I love it. I love writing with this pen. I have a blue ink in it now. Yeah, I have a dark blue ink in it now, but I typically love putting like bright inks in there, like bright greens or pinks or whatever. I used to keep Ackerman Pulcry Pink in here because it just made me happy to have a pink or black pen with like bright pink ink. Yeah, I love this pen. If you don't have a Lamy 2000, you should definitely get one. It's seriously the only pen I've ever actually been mad at myself for not getting sooner, because I just kept putting it off. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I love it. This is one that will be a surprise to lots of people. This is a Lamy Studio LX all black. My section got messy when I inked it, so I need to like clean it off. better. But it's almost time for cleaning. I have a medium nib on mine, even though I don't typically like the medium nibs. When I bought it, my choice was medium or fine, and my other studio has a fine nib on it, so I went with the medium. Yeah, so I, you know, got this. One of my friends got this pen, and it was like, that's pretty cute. And then I was like, I don't need another pen. And then I got, oh, have I somehow? Oh, I think I scratched the finish. Boo! Or it's got glitter on it. I can't tell. I don't want to mess with it too much. Anyway, yeah. And then I got one for a friend for their birthday, and then I was like, oh, like that's kind of a sexy pen. I should probably get one too. So then I just got one and shoved it in my pen case, and just didn't tell anybody I had it. So then the Lamy studio that I originally had is, oh, this needs to be, oh, these pens are so gross. My pens are only gross for the purpose of this video, I swear. This needs to be cleaned out though. This is the Lamy Studio Aquamarine. I have a fine nib on it. Lamy fine nibs and Lamy broad nibs are my favorite nibs ever. And I just love it. It's a very satisfying click. Not quite the same Prera click, but yeah, it's heavy, but it's comfortable in the hand, and I just love it, which is why I ended up getting the all black one, because I know that it's a pen that I love. So anyway, yeah, I also want the Glacier Blue, and there is a dark, I don't know if it's called dark lilac, but there is a purple version from a few years ago, like before I even knew Lamy Studios were a thing, and if I could ever find one, I'd probably die. They're hard to find. I'm sure they're really expensive if you can find one, but yeah. All right. Next up, we have our Lamy Pastel Safaris from, was it last year? I don't know. Last year or the year before. I honestly don't know anymore. Time is weird. So this is a mint glaze, powder rose, and blue macaron. And yeah, I like these pens. I got one of each in every nib size that was offered. Fine, medium, broad, or fine, medium, extra fine. I don't remember. I've swapped nibs, so it doesn't even matter at this point. But yeah, I actually only ordered, I think I ordered the pink and the blue, and then later I kept seeing the green, and I was like, oh, fine, I might as well just get the green. This is the bubblegum pink. I bought this one from the Lamy store in San Francisco. I have a medium nib on this one. I don't remember if it came with a medium nib or if I just swapped it on medium nib. Yeah. I also have the neon coral one, but like I said, I have no idea where that is right now, so that will move in here when I find it. Lamy Safari Dark Lilac. Yeah, I bought this on Amazon like no problem. The pens I guess were really easy to come by for a while. This has an oblique, it's a not labeled black shelf goulet nib, but it's a Lamy, I think it's an oblique. It looks like it's an oblique nib of some kind, just to try it. It was on sale, so I decided to try it. And I swap the nibs on the Lamys all the time, so it didn't come with that. I think it came with a medium or fine. Then we have Lamy Petrol. I actually really like the matte. I actually really like, I don't know. I go back and forth between which ones I like. I'm glad they did the pastel ones in the shiny finish, but I really like these matte finishes as well. And then I also got the all black because I didn't get I didn't have the charcoal one. So it wasn't a big deal to me to have it. I actually wasn't going to get it at all, and then I was like, oh, fine, I'll get it. And then I have my Lamy All-Stars. So I have the Lamy LX Rose Gold, where everything, including the hardware, is rose gold. Yeah, great pen. I have the Lamy Bronze, which I don't actually like that often. I actually have this inked with King Philip Requiem, which is an ink that Chris sent me a sample of, and so yeah, I just thought that'd be pretty in this pen. I don't use it very often, and it was available, so I just did it. I think they called this one Black Purple or Purple Black. But this was a limited edition one that they ended up bringing into rotation. But I think that color is really pretty. This was the first Lamy Safari sort of thing that I got, actually. All-Star. Technically an All-Star, but it's the first Lamy like this that I actually got. Then we have Vibrant Pink. And yeah, I don't need to like go into detail on these. So we have Pacific and Lamy Tourmaline. Let me get these out. Can you tell the difference from my hands? I bet you can. It's really hard to tell. My very second video was the video comparing these two, and I can tell you that this is Pacific and this is Tourmaline because this is more green and this is more blue, and I don't know if it's evident in this video because the way I see the camera, it actually looks like they look like the same pen, but they are not. They are not. Why isn't that? Okay. Anyway, yeah. So that's those. Lamy Pacific was the first like limited edition hype train I was on, so I got the ink and the pen, and then I found out later that the ink was just repackaged one of their normal inks, which is a little disappointing. This is the Ocean Blue, and I also purchased this at the same time that I got the Bubblegum Pink at the Lamy flagship store in San Francisco because I was there and I wanted to. And then this is a Lamy Next. I ordered this because I'd never tried one and I'd seen it on Chris's channel and just was like curious about it. And Jet Pens was doing a deal where if you got the pen, you got a free bottle of ink. So I got a free bottle of ink and ended up sending that to a friend because I already had the ink. I had both. They had like 2 choices of free ink and I had both of them, and one of them I didn't like and the other I was like, I liked okay, but I didn't need a second one, so I gave it to a friend. And that concludes the pen collection cases anyway. I have one more little pouch to go through. I'm so tired of talking. Thank you if you have stuck around this far. We're an hour and 25 minutes in. So this is a pouch that I just keep like random pens in. It's some of my like cheaper pens, I guess. So we'll go through these super fast. I have a Pilot Varsity, which is actually the very first fountain pen I ever used. I had a set of them that I got. This is not from that set, but I got a set of them that I like in high school, and that's the very first pen I ever used. I thought it was so cool to use a fountain pen, and then it like started bleeding through paper, and then I switched back to normal pens. So then I have this. It's the Atoya Blade. I got this in an ink flight. I have the black version. They sent out blue and black, and I got the black version. And I will tell you, I think Creepy Nibs got the same box and they got the blue one, and I felt so bad that I almost offered to trade them pens, and then I was like, oh no, that's crazy, I don't know this person, and now we're like the best of friends. But yeah, sorry Count, I got the black one. And then this is a Platinum Prefont, I don't really know how to pronounce it. This is the 03. I have like 3 of these pens. This is the 05, and then I have another one that's still packaged that I don't remember which size it is. This is the Emerald Green that I got in an ink flight, and this is the Night Sky, maybe? I really don't remember, but I have 2 of these. I have the Fine and the Medium. And then I have a Platinum Preppy in pink. And then I have another Platinum Preppy in pink. The reason I have 2 of these is because I couldn't find one, and I had decided, are these different? Oh, these are actually different nib sizes too. This is the 3 and this is the 5. I decided that I was going to use these to, I was going to eyedropper. I have a Bay State Concord, Bay State Cape Cod Cranberry or whatever the heck it's called. So I was going to put it in a pink one. And then I have like a purple one floating around somewhere that's not in here. That I'm going to put Concord Grape in, and then I have a blue one or a black one for Bay State Blue, and I'm going to dedicate a Preppy to each one of those samples, and then I don't care. Like, I'm not getting bottles of them, but whatever. This is a Wingsung 601. It's the Vacuumatic. This pen's really like annoying to clean out, so I don't actually use it that often, but it's a really pretty color. And it was a different filling system that I hadn't tried. This is a Wingsung 618. This is the piston filler, but the same sort of like hooded nib situation. I actually really like the hooded nib. Yeah, I'm sure it's not for everybody, but I don't mind writing with it, especially on these finer nibs. This is a random ass pen that I have no idea what it is. It's a Hero 3106E. It's very tiny. This is one of the pens that like my coworker would just like was like shoved upon me, but it's like it's too small to use, so I save it, and maybe if somebody wants to get into fountain pens, like a kid or somebody that can use thinner pens, then maybe I'll give it to them. It has one of those like slide converters. Yeah, so I just keep it in this pouch. It's just in here. I don't really consider it part of the collection, but it technically is. This is another one of those pens from the coworker, Hero something or other, 3159. She's a big fan of these like teeny tiny skinny pens, which is not a thing that I gravitate towards usually. Then I have my Jin Hao Shark in black. Again, hooded nib situation, or semi-hooded nib, or whatever. It's a fine nib. I love the way this pen writes so great. Like, it looks dumb it looks silly if you're like carrying around a shark pen, but it writes phenomenally, and so that's really all that matters. This is a Jin Hao of some sort, I think, or something. This is like one of those fake Mont Blancs. Again, from the same coworker that just like handed me pens. I've never used this one, and same with this one too. I think this one's a Jin Hao. Yeah, this one's a Jin Hao, but I don't know what it's called. And I've never used this one either. I just like save them. So if somebody ever decides they want to get into fountain pens, then I'll give them one of these cheapy pens. And then these are my Jin Hao 992s. I bought like a set on eBay or whatever. Yeah, not much to say about them. It was like $5 for the set of them. So that's that. And this is a Wingsung 698. I love the clear feeds on these pens. I don't use this that often because I have all the Twsbis that I use, and I just like those more. But yeah, it's not a bad pen. And this is a urine something or other from the same coworker. After the Friendo pen though, with the rainbow nib on it. It's kind of a fun pen. I don't remember what ink I put in here, but it was a pain to clean out. So I just haven't used it again. So whatever. And then have my Pilot Parallel. This is the 1.5 millimeter. The same coworker just like randomly just like wandered through and was like, here. She was trying to recruit fountain pen people at work and just like started like randomly handing people pens. And then last but not least, my Kaweco Perkeo in the old chambray color. I like this nib. I like writing with this nib. It's a little bouncy. It doesn't look like it would be, but it's kind of fun to write with. But the pen, I don't like writing with the pen. I don't like the way the pen feels. So I don't use this one that often either. So these are kind of the pens that are like the lower end pens that I don't usually use a lot, but if I need extra pens, then they're here. So yeah, so that is my pen collection minus the 4 pens that I cannot find and the 1 pen that's on the way. And yeah, this video is gonna take forever to upload, so yeah, hopefully it's still up tonight. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions about any of the pens that you saw and want me to dig in a little deeper, please let me know. I'm happy to do so. Here's my dip pens just for something to look at. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon. I have lots of ink to swatch from birthday gifts and stuff that I've ordered. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, so we'll have a swatching video coming up pretty soon. I was trying to hopefully do that today, but it's getting kind of late, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So anyway, it was super nice to talk to you, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this trip through my pens. Like I said, if you have any questions about any specifically, let me know, and maybe I can focus in on some of these coming up soon, or or feature them in a 30 Ink 30 Days. So yeah, so anyway, take care, love you, bye!